Yes, it is I. It's the weekday, and he's here. We thought we was not gonna see him. Probably still not gonna see me. I might upload this later in the week because I don't like uploading on the weekdays. I like uploading on the weekend so I can just do my school, my work, and then you know what I'm saying. I think we gotta. Dang, dang! I forgot what we were supposed to do today. I wasn't gonna hit you with anything deep today. I was just gonna talk to you. But I wanted to say be wary of the attention that you bring, right? Now, what does that mean, right? We all know everybody doesn't have the best interest for our well-being in certain things, right? Well, what I mean by that, you can't be a hero in everybody's story, right? Obviously. So, with that, don't try to rebuild bridges that have already been burned for great reasons, even if you look like the villain in that tone of era. Seeking forgiveness to others that don't forgive you for the things that you have done and does not cause so-called stability, but it causes more pain that you ever think of. It's more of an introspective way to see, but as I see it, only person you should be looking after for is yourself. And I know that's hyper individualism because you know our community is broken, but how can you build that when you don't even know yourself? Stay with me now. Stay with me now. Stay with me now. Being serious every day, talking to the camera. Nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be an influencer. And some people say the only reason you want to be an influencer or a content creator because you don't know how to sustainably be something in society. You know? Some content creators or influencers or even music artists are a nuisance to society. But I'm like, you gotta worry about the bigger picture than what they got going on. I mean, the world is burning from the inside out, and you're worried about somebody that's on the cameras talking about their day-to-day life and eating Starbucks, you know? I think we have our priorities messed up, and some made over the matter, right? I mean, but it gets to a point where you're not showing any equity to the things you're doing. So I think the only time you can do that if you're going to school. If you're not working, your family, your friends, anybody that looks after you, or you know, they look at you, they be like, so you're not at school and you're not working. What are you doing? You know, you're unemployed at that point. You can't say you're an entrepreneur because if you say that, you just like, oh, you're a fancy unemployed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we have put this stigma on being unemployed as another way of being a bum. You know, and it gets to a point. But also, another thing, with that, it kind of does come with that. You gotta see it. Everybody's perspective is differently when it comes to those type of things. But it holds, like, people try to hold a moral high ground over you because you don't have a job or you're not going to school. And then even if you are going to school online, they won't take you serious because you're not on campus, so you're not really doing anything. Or, don't forget, they'll also disrespect community colleges and trade schools, so, yeah. There's always a stigma somewhere or another. But you just can't be mad at it, you know? Can't shoot your frustration at everybody that makes you mad. Controlling your anger is one of the best things you can do. And the reason I say that is because I feel like people get more agitated when they know they can't break you. But everybody know that shit. Stupid ass. Stupid ass. Everybody know that. Some conversations are hold off, you know? People that need the therapy don't go to therapy. The victims do. Some way or another. Don't hold that over anybody yet. My words mean nothing yet. But they will. They will. They will. Maybe when I go to a different path, you know, my YouTube will be plucked up from the archives and see what I've been saying. if it's crazy rhetoric about race and gender or something, or it's just about positivity. It's the only thing people go through. It's segregation. Segregation might be not what color anymore, but it's about ideologies and philosophies. You got to think. If the world is always separated, there's no way it can reconnect. So as you choose a side and you choose this side's right than the other, that side's right than the other, both sides are wrong no matter what it is. So they paint the villain on one group that has been done wrong, and then overgeneralize it to so-called B propaganda. They do it with anything. It could be the most top of the top, something deep, or the most smallest thing. But how do you know this is real? Fake news, supposedly. How do you know anything is real? How do you get taken seriously without being a theorist or a person that does just overlining parodies of what something is, you know? Like, how do you get taken seriously without being seen as a joke? Because everything's a joke nowadays, no matter what. They make jokes about everything, but then if you say something about it, you're insensitive. Or you're sensitive. Or you don't know how to take a joke, man. It's dark humor, you know? It gets to a point. If there's no limits to cross, then how do you know when you're hurt? If there's no pain threshold, how do you know when you're hurt? At ease. I can hit you with 1,000 poetries, 1,000 words of how this is bad, this is wrong, we should change, but me doing no part in it does not help the big situation. It's either you're a number in the clock or you're a rod ticking. Analog clock like that. The hour or the minute you choose. Sometimes you can be so insignificant you can be the second. That little red line takes every second. And I used to really obsess with the things that I have used to do, you know? My aggression, my pain, the people I done wrong. I tried to fix it, but I made it worse. Doing a little creepy song's not gonna help either, right? So with that, even with that in mind, I tend to see that I may be broken, but even being fixed will not fix the scars that will be shown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do all this work to fix something, but even when it's fixed, the breaking point is still shown. The crevice where it been cut, the laceration, the GSW, no matter where it's been injured at, is still going to be shown. If it's not physically, it's mentally, spiritually. You can be broken to the point so hard that it shows physically. The bags in your eyes, the lines in your iris, your frail body shriveling, you know? It gets to, it's an obsession when people try to hop the topic. They seem like they're important, but they don't know when to stop it. It doesn't work like that. And what am I rambling about? I'm rambling about pain. The pain and lies that people say to show that they know, or they're so-called woke, they're aligned with their enlightenment, they're so self-actualized that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. Stop giving me poetry about how this person did you wrong, and this person did you this, and this person did you that, but all you doing is pointing figures but never internalizing what you did. There's no reason to play devil's advocate if you know it's blatantly wrong, but I always say there's a gray area in every part. That's why the devil's advocate is named by the devil. It's not a good thing to do. Don't disrespect religion. Don't hide behind religion. Don't speak upon something you don't know. You know, it gets to a point. It's either you're super jokey one day or you're super serious the next day. And that's with me too. I'm not gonna lie. I look at each video. One, I'm super serious. One, I'm almost out of it. And another one, I'm laughing and giggling. But as a human, you should be able to switch like that without being seen as crazy, schizophrenic, or bipolar. As humans, we're allowed to change and evolve. But it gets to a point where if I'd done this thing that was so horrible, so malicious, so evil, am I allowed to change? That's the question. Am I allowed to change for the things that I have done? Am I allowed to repent my sins for the things that I have done? Do I correlate the things that I have done to another person to what I have did? Now, how does that make sense, what I just said? You don't understand. The things that I have done, can I am allowed to repent? And does that correlate to the things that I have done to the other person that has sinned the same? But there's some things that you cannot forgive. Murder. We can forgive murder. We can forgive murder. What happened for self-defense? We can forgive murder. Everybody allowed to live. It's not true. Some people not deserving but should die, right? In some way. A serial killer that kills unsparingly with no bias, it should be killed, right? But you once say if you kill a killer, then you become a killer, so the cycle repeats and it's a paradox. But if you kill enough killers, I feel like it overflows. If one person kills enough murderers, is that morally right? But morals get thrown out the window when it's straight survival, though. When we don't have society and money and finances and taxes and things to worry about, and you're learning about straight survival, if your family's going to get fed or not, is morals on your conscience? Fuck no, nigga. Excuse my language, but morals not on your conscience when you're trying to figure out how to live, how to get to the next meal. We built society to stop that so-called morale. We built society to build a morale to hide the deep underlying question of what are we and why do we die. That's all it is. That's all it is, twin. That's all it is. This, sports, shows, clothes, branding, everything is a distraction for the things that's coming up next. And what is that? Death. But nobody wants to be more 24/7. So fuck death, nigga. Excuse my language, but fuck it. Do the things that make you happy. Don't use distractions just to hold off. Do the things that make you happy. But I feel like everybody says that it's a cliche. It's a walking, not a tundra. It's walking prediction. It's just a way. Do the things that make you happy. It's the most cliche thing. It's joyful. I don't want to do the things I'm happy for if I ain't got no money. If I'm broke, ain't shit to smile about when you broke and you got shit on your own and you going check to check, bounce to bounce, not knowing when you gonna get fed the next day. But you got to think. With that perspective, there's another. There's a glutton. There's a lustful being out there using these so-called privileges we have and taking it from the poor, right? Everybody wants an anti-hero like Red Hood until he turns into an anti-villain for the right things. Nobody understands that, though. You look up anti-hero and then look up anti-villain. Does the most craziest things for self-gain. Anti-villain would destroy the world to save his son, but a hero would kill his son to save the world. I have seen that shit multiple times, right? This shit crazy though. This perspective is everything. Without your perception, your perspective. Without the perspective of others, your perception means nothing. I have it in the YouTube Bible. I could write thousands of books about everything under Louis by fucking quantum mechanics and hydrophysicists. All that with science and psychology, I could write all of that. But does it mean anything if nobody reads it? That's why I said humans need interaction to live. Don't lie to me and say you don't need that interaction. Because it's a blatant lie. We wouldn't do the things we do if it wasn't for other people. We wouldn't work our ass off to pay for shit we don't want if it wasn't for other people. If you was the only person on earth, bro, excuse my language, straight for yelling, you know what I'm saying? I'm passionate. I'm a little bit passionate about this. If you were the only person on earth, would you even wear clothes? Would you worry about what car you driving? Would you worry about what you eating? Would you worry about how you look? It's all in here. It's all in here. And I'm not going to be like, open your mind, open your third eye, be self-actualized. The enlightenment needed the word. No, I'm not going to give you that mumble bumble bullshit. I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to give you that. There's some days in your life where you're going to be sad as shit about the things that you cannot change. And there's some days you're going to be happy as fuck that you can't change it. Right? We are humans. We are humans at the end of the day. We might be animals. We might still be mammals. We might still be animals. But we are humans. Higher beings than other animals supposedly because we have a conscience, because we can question things that need questioning, because we can question a question then question that question. A chicken can't do that shit. But you know what we do with a chicken? We ask what comes first, the chicken or the egg. We create all these paradoxes in our mind to decide the things that we're gonna die someday, right? It's either you're super morbid or you're super hot. You're super happy. But I don't want happiness. I want joy. I don't want happiness. I want joy. I don't want complacence. I don't want to be complacent. I want success. But the only reason you want success is for others, the others to see. But you want it for yourself. But deep down, you still want it for others. You still want others to see your success. Because if you were successful and nobody was here to see it, would you still do it? No, you wouldn't. But it's not that serious. Alright, don't take anything I said serious. Just see this as another yap session by Shallow 2. He just yapping his gums off. He's having a bad day. If you're seeing this, good kudos. If you're not, it's okay. Show you love and show me love. Voice of the voiceless. See you tomorrow.